You were a referee during the Malice at the Palace. Do you look back on that night with any regrets, knowing that if you had kept the floor a little bit drier, Jermaine O'Neal would have knocked that guy's head off?
Yeah, I mean, I'll never forget. I was standing there, and that Mexican guy is lucky that he's still alive because he lost his back foot. But yeah, it was something that, as a referee, you don't want to be part of a fight because it always lands on your doorstep that kind of things got out of control. So maybe we could have got in there a little bit quicker and drawn our test before we ran up into the stands, and everything just escalated to no return.
Was there a moment when that was all going down that you were just like blowing your whistle, hoping that someone would be like, "Oh, the whistle blew, got to stop"?
Nobody was listening to anything. I'll never forget Larry Brown started screaming at me, "Do something!"
And you're blowing your whistle, and you're like,
"Do
hey.
something! They're going to listen to you. They don't listen to me half the time anyway. You do something!"
Right.
And it just nobody would stop anything.
What coach or player did you have the most adversarial relationship with?
Probably Rasheed Wallace.
Okay. He threw a ball at you. Did he throw a ball at you or threw it?
He threw a ball at my partner in a game that was a blowout, and I gave him a technical foul, and he got all bent out of shape that I did that, and waited for me out in the parking garage and basically wanted to fight me.
Mm-hmm. And what did you do? Did you cower?
I squared up like I was ready to go with him, just saying prayers that somebody grabbed him, and right before he got to me, 10 people jumped on him. If not, I'd probably still be eating through a stroll today.
Yeah, that's probably good for you. Yeah. What about a coach?
So.
Is there a coach that you just didn't get along with?
George Carl was a guy that was really tough, and I had a lot of run-ins with him, so he was a guy. Larry Brown was tough, but off the floor he seemed to be a good guy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, do you still gamble? I assume, right? Like, do you gamble on sports?
No.
You don't?
No.
Are you not allowed to, or is it?
No, I just don't do it. I think it was a situation where it just got out of control, and I started to cross too many lines.
Yeah.
And you really can't win gambling. When I was gambling, I had somewhat of an advantage being on the inside. So, to gamble, you really have to have a good edge and really look at it. I do have a website where I consult with people that like to gamble as a form of entertainment and try to help them and guide them through it.
Okay, so you're in the gambling space a little bit. How much money do you think estimate you won during those 4 years, 5 years? How many years you were helping out?
Not as much as you would think. Probably around $100,000, and I had to write a check for $30,000 back to the government from the scheme with Martino and Batista.
Mm-hmm.
What was the largest amount of money you ever put on a game?
Probably $2,000 or $3,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But what's the largest amount of money someone else put on a game that you were reffing?
Hundreds of thousands. And in the movie, again, that's really there's a scene with Batista of how he really manipulates the line. And we were going to bet one side at -6, and he gets it. He bets the other side to move the line, and then comes back again and bets the side that we want, and wins. Well over several $1 million.
Yeah. That's
so
crazy.
the lines, would it get to a point where a line would move? Did Vegas ever get whiff of what was going on before the FBI did?
Yeah, there were things that now that I understand that some of the lines were moving 3, 4, and 5 points, which is unheard of in the gambling world, and that's because Batista and again Will Sassa in the movie does a great job. This guy, I'd be shocked if he doesn't get some type of award for the portrayal.
The comedian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From Mad TV.
Yeah, he really, I'm telling you, every time I watch it, I just look at the guy, and I think it's Batista half the time. The way he does everything is really incredible.
Yeah. Interesting. I mean, this is the story is fascinating. I would imagine was there any point where you started to, while you're in the middle of it, started to feel bad or started to have second thoughts of like, hey, what I'm doing is wrong?
Definitely. There were times when I was doing it with the guys at the country club where I'm thinking, what the heck am I doing? Because we were winning so much, and I'm thinking, there's got to be red flags going up somewhere, and we would stop. And there was one time where he went to the casino and lost about $25,000 and took out a marker and said, listen, I need some picks. I need to get this money back. So, I would give him some picks, and then we would stop again, and then eventually Batista, who was getting these picks behind our back associated with organized crime, had tricked Tommy Martino into, bringing him down in front of me at the Marriott Hotel and Philadelphia.
Were there ever any times that you thought that you were getting caught that turned out to just be like a false alarm?
No, it wasn't. In fact, I wish that would have happened because it probably would have scared me straight a little bit. But it wasn't until I was at the golf course and Tommy called me and said the FBI had been at his house 3 times.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. So that moment, that happens. When does the FBI come to your house? They come to your house like the next morning, or what?
They never come to my house. I get the call from Tommy, and I just totally panic. I lose about 30 pounds in less than a month.
Mm-hmm.
And my attorney keeps telling me, sit tight. And the stress was just unbearable. And he called up the United States attorney and had him on speakerphone, and I was sitting in his office, and he said, listen, you tell Tim Donaghy we know what he did. We know who he did it with. He's going to lose his job. If we have to come get him, not only is he going to lose his job, he's going to go to jail for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was in my best interest and my family's best interest. The next day, I got on a plane and went to New York and met with the FBI.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you knew it was coming for a month while you were still reffing games?
No.
Okay.
It was over at that point. It was the summer.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was the summer. That's right. And now, did you ever talk to David Stern on the phone after that, or?
I was in my attorney's office again, and we called the league office, and they picked up the phone, and he just said, hey, listen, I think we should come in and meet with you, and Tim wants to explain to you what he did and how he did it. And they said, okay, we'll get back to you, and we never heard from him again.
He probably was pretty mad, huh?
Oh, he's
He was probably
furious.
pretty pissed at you.
Yeah.
You kind of screwed that
furious.
one up.
Yeah.
Yeah.